Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Tampa Bay Real Producers Podcast. This is coming to you powered by Top Producers Nation, where we help agents all over the country become top producers. This, of course, is the podcast that is made for real producers by real producers and with none other than Tampa Bay's real producers, such as our guest today, Mr. Mike Bosco. How you doing, my man?
I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing well. It's good to have you here today. If you guys might be aware of Mike, he was featured in our April 2024 spotlight with the Tampa Bay Real Producers magazine. He was actually a featured agent in that particular issue, so check that out if you want to learn more. But we're going to be diving into Mike's story right now as far as how he got featured and how he grew his business. Mike is with Century 21. So why don't we just start a little bit with your background of how you even got into Tampa, if you grew up here, if you moved here, and then eventually how you got interested in getting licensed into real estate. So we'll just start there.
Well, I originally lived right across the street there, pretty much across from West Shore Mall originally.
Nice.
And
so you grew up in this area, huh?
We moved to Odessa when I was 3.
Okay.
And but yeah, Tampa.
Okay.
I've been here my whole life. And Chamberlain High School. Mm-hmm. Stayed local for college, and I've been here ever since.
Where'd you go to school?
So I went to HEC the first 2 years.
Okay.
Then I took a long break and went back to SBC.
What did you major in?
Business.
Okay. So was real estate always an interesting thing for you, or when did you find yourself getting interested in that?
It's always been kind of an interest. I would tour houses with my dad. My dad was a broker in South Tampa.
Okay.
And
so it was in the family.
In the family, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was always sort of intriguing to me. I mean, I dabbled in a lot of other things along the way.
Sure.
But yeah, it was always in the back of my mind.
So did you end up working with your dad after you finished school right away, or it sounds like you had some other careers first?
I had lots of careers.
Yeah.
A lot of restaurant jobs, a lot of pizza delivery.
Interesting.
Yeah, I had a real fun job at CD Warehouse for a while. That was good when CDs were a thing. And
CDs were a thing. Those were the days, weren't they?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite job that I've ever had.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What did you like about it?
I like music a lot.
Okay.
And we always had first dibs on the stuff that people brought in to sell.
That makes sense.
So yeah, it was you just kind of sit around and listen to music all day.
Yeah,
Can't
no
beat
doubt.
that and get paid.
So what eventually got you to make a commitment to real estate?
I got burned out on doing the restaurant thing, those kind of hours,
Mm-hmm.
and just thought that it would be, like I said, it was always in the back of my mind. So I figured I would give it a shot. And I did work for my dad for a little bit.
Okay. So he's still in the business?
He is, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, he's the broker out at a 55 and up park out in Largo.
Nice.
And yeah, he loves to work. So
Nice.
I didn't do it initially, though. I worked at another company, and then I left there and worked for my dad for about a year or so, and then I went to Century 21 in 2012.
Okay, and I think you said off camera that you got licensed initially 2006, but you really weren't doing a ton of volume or not necessarily working full-time until around 2009 or 10. Is that correct?
Yeah, not even part-time. I passed the test, and then I took a different turn.
Okay.
And started working at a buddy's appraisal company, and then finally I was like, you know what, I need to do this. So
your first real year, would you say, is 2009?
With a real company, yeah. I was still doing it part-time, though.
Okay.
And
Around another job?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think it's really tough to not have a couple other jobs when you first get started.
Some income coming in, right?
Yeah, because you just get your license and they turn you loose, and that's it, you know.
What was that early time like for you? Did you have a solid first year in it? Was it a slow growth process for you, or thinking back to those earlier years, how did things get, eventually start to get traction?
I think it might have been a little slow, only because I wasn't dedicating 100% of my time to it.
Yeah.
And then finally, when I did get that one good closing, I quit one of my part-time jobs, and then when I had a couple more, I said, I'm just going to do it full-time. Was
that just through your personal network that you initially got started?
Yeah, well, I once I got to Century 21, I mean, yeah, before the first gig that I had was it was a little weird. We were doing just bank foreclosures, and so we were the guys that put the signs out on the side of the road and all that kind of stuff. But once I got to Century 21, it was I did a lot of rentals for quite a while, just doing anything that I could to to just learn and
make some money and get into the business.
$200 is better than nothing.
Sure.
So yeah, I did that, and so yeah, I would say that I wasn't. I mean, I might have made 15 or 16,000 the first year or something like that.
Right.
I mean, it was
tough to live on for somebody if that's their only income, right? Full time.
Yeah, impossible.
Yeah. Right.
So that's why I worked.
Makes sense.
All these other jobs and picked up jobs delivering. I did like delivering pizzas too. I mean, that was a fun job. So I did that. I worked at
different
Publix.
part-time gigs, huh?
Oh, tons. Yeah, I've done it all.
That's awesome. So at some point, you must have had some sort of a breakthrough in your business, right? Because we talked off camera before that you were right at 20 million in volume, which is not something somebody does if they're doing it part-time, right? So obviously you were doing a full-time operation at that point. You've been a consistent top producer now for a few years. We featured you when you were doing about 18 million. I know last year alone, I think you said you did around 13, 14 million, still solid volume, right? In my mind, anyone doing over 10 million is treating the business right, is doing this with some serious commitment. So can you think back to do you remember like a breakthrough year or a situation that felt like, all right, I can do this, where you had to start believing in yourself possibly because the results were finally there? Or does anything come to mind as far as what kind of turned the corner for you?
And the first thing that pops in my mind is I got a lot of support from my broker. She's very supportive and made me believe that I could do it.
Is that with Century 21?
Yeah.
So how long have you been with them now?
Since 2012.
Okay, so it's been a while.
The executive team, Julie Yonan. And, so yeah, I mean, I knew from the start that I could do it. It was just, getting the right opportunities and then doing the best I could so they would refer me to other people. And so it's just kind of grown like that. I guess
has it been a pretty slow growth, would you say, like just year upon year, or was there a spike year in there somewhere?
I think there was a spike year probably. I don't know. Time goes by so fast.
Sure.
I mean, somewhere in the late teens or mid-teens, where, I probably quadrupled or something, in 1 year, and then just trying to keep doing it and keep the referrals coming. And
so has your business 100% been referrals? Is it all organic, or have you done other things to generate business?
Yeah, a lot of it. I mean, I'm trying to do a better job of marketing and stuff like that, but I've never been like a marketing master. So a lot of it has just been through personal referrals. Cool.
So, I mean, again, for a lot of agents, they want that business because it's cheaper, right? If you can save money without having to advertise, that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I've never done like the Zillow and stuff like that. Actually, that's a lie. I did it for about 3 months.
Okay.
But that's not for me.
With your Century 21 relationship, is there leads provided through the brokerage, or have you always had to create your own?
We do get leads through the brokerage.
You do?
Yeah, we. I don't know if all Century 21s are like that, but we have a lot of corporate relocations and stuff like that.
Is that a Beggins group, Jeff Beggins, or no?
No,
it's not.
No,
okay.
We're a smaller office.
Okay.
We've only got about 15 agents, but of the 15 agents, I think four of us were in the top 100 last year. So it's definitely the opposite of Beggins, where there's hundreds and hundreds of agents.
Yeah, and that is a big organization. We've had Jeff on the show here actually a couple of weeks back. So he's scaled out a pretty impressive.
They've got a good thing going.
They do, yeah. They've built a pretty big brand there for sure. So has your process, Mike, like are you now at a point where you're kind of accomplished what your vision was in getting into this business, or is your vision still taking you somewhere else, whether that's numbers or just a different type of organization? You're not building a team or anything. You're still an independent agent, right?
I am an independent agent.
Yeah.
I thought about doing the team thing. I don't know if it's the best. I think I kind of like just doing it on my own.
It's not for everybody, for sure.
Yeah.
We've had both people here. We've had the team leaders and people who have gotten really good at that. We've had many very successful agents who just focus on the individual business, and it's the lifestyle that they love. And I think everybody's got to find their own path,
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think you don't really know until you try. But I think that moving forward, I think I do like just kind of doing my own thing.
So what What's your typical week look like now from a working standpoint? Are you just working through existing relationships? Are you doing anything intentional to drive more referrals in your business? Has it just been kind of more passive and whoever calls you and that's what you do? Or what is your typical routine look like?
That is how it was for years and years. I am trying to do, like I told you earlier when we were off camera, I'm not a social media master.
Sure.
And which seems to be the most effective way to do any kind of marketing.
Yep.
So I did hire an assistant, and she's teaching me a lot of things that I had no idea how to do on my own.
Shout out to the Bosco assistant out there.
Yeah, Lindsay. And so, yeah, I mean, yeah, my goal is to have a much bigger social media presence, and because I've just seen, I've talked to too many people.
Do you have a platform that you guys are starting to focus on, or any one particular?
Facebook is,
yeah,
I guess that's what us old people do. It's Facebook and Instagram, but I don't really know how to operate TikTok. I've never been on there before, so
right.
Maybe one day if I master the others.
Hey, some people crush it on TikTok. We actually aren't very good on TikTok either, but we do have an account. We just don't do much with it.
Yeah, but I've talked to too many people at open houses and stuff. They're like, oh yeah, I found my agent through YouTube or something. You know, I was in Ohio, and this guy does a lot of social media, so I felt comfortable using them.
Right.
So I was like, well, I can only be told that so many times before I realize you're going to probably have to get with it.
Yeah, it makes sense to at least have some kind of presence going on out there.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite part of being an agent now? Like, what do you find the most fulfilling?
Well, my favorite part would be probably just working for myself, I mean, not everybody can set their own hours and stick with it.
Sure.
But I don't seem to have a problem with that. So I do like being my own boss. The most fulfilling part is, I mean, it's pretty basic. Just getting people into houses and making them happy. I mean, it's a big deal.
Sure.
You have to get somebody into a house. So.
Yeah, biggest purchase of most people's life, right?
Yeah. So that's the most fulfilling part of it.
Now, do your referrals that you have built your business from, again, is it something intentional that you have built out or created where like you average a certain number of referrals for every customer that you bring on and you kind of can pinpoint why? Or again, is it, more of just, hey, if you ever know anybody else who needs help, I'm here. I'd love to help them if possible. Like, has it just been very passive in that way? Or is there anything intentional you do?
It sounds like the lazy way to go about it, but it's not lazy, but yeah, it is. That's usually how it goes. I mean, I let people know, hey, if you have any friends that could use an agent, let me know.
I'm here. Yeah. And that's grown, and that's worked enough for you to at least continue to grow your business. It seems like. Yeah. Well, it just speaks to how important it is to have good customer service, because obviously that's more of a, it's a passive approach to grow the business, but it's worked, right, for you. So the reality is that it wouldn't be working if they weren't having good experiences in the first place. Right. So it's really making your business very customer centric. Is there anything specific, Mike, you can think about that has helped you, have that type of a focus with having a customer centric type focus? Like, what do you think you did mention off camera that you feel like your connection with people has been one of your superpowers, right, in real estate that you think has helped you. Any tips that you might be able to share to agents out there who would love to grow their business organically but just think it's too slow or they're not making it happen or it's not getting traction? Anything come to mind? That's
a tough one. I mean, I would say that to answer the first part of your question, I've had customer service jobs throughout my whole life, and I was always raised where the customer's always right, which doesn't seem to be the way that it is a lot of times anymore. But, well, I'm sorry, what was the second part of the question?
Any tips you would share on how to have how to make sure that your customers are satisfied enough so that those referrals are coming in organically? What did they do for you?
I think the best way to look at it is to try to put yourself in their shoes and how would you want to be treated, and what kind of help would you need along the way, and just be there for them. Every client's going to be different, and the level of help that they need is going to be different, and not everybody wants a lot of help. And figuring out the people that do need the help and the people that just kind of want to be, minimal involvement from their agent. Yeah,
it makes sense. Is there a niche at all that you found that you've served over the years? Are you a specific type of group of people, specific type of customer? Are your people all local? Do you have a lot of people out of area? Like, what's that been like for you?
Well, we do work with the military a lot, and a lot of them are coming from from out of town.
Yeah.
And so I would say if I had to group or name one group of people that I've worked with the most, it's a lot of military.
That's
and
cool.
with the base being here, there's no shortage of people coming and going.
Yeah, no doubt. Did you serve as well?
I did not, but both my boys just joined the Navy.
Nice.
So that's
exciting.
That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, no doubt. I have a cousin who graduated from Annapolis, actually.
Oh, wow.
And so she became an officer in Pearl Harbor, and we visited her actually out in Hawaii. This was years ago now, but that was my first time ever going to Hawaii, so it was a pretty cool experience.
Hawaii is awesome.
It is.
And
yeah, I've been there twice now, but it was cool. She was obviously stationed out there. So I guess when you graduate from Annapolis, you kind of have your choices as to where you'd want to be sent and stationed as an officer. And of course, I think Hawaii is pretty high on people's list.
Probably.
So she happened to graduate like towards the top of her class, I guess, and was able to get stationed out there. So it was kind of neat.
Yeah. No, I hope they get stationed in Hawaii.
Yeah.
I'd love to go back.
That would be cool. Well, shout out to the Bosco. You said 2 sons?
2. Yeah, they joined at the same time.
Very cool. Oh, so are they twins or just same? Okay.
Nah,
not the same age.
No, 5 years apart.
Gotcha. So for people who don't know you as well yet on the personal side, talk a little bit about that. Like, are you married?
Yes.
And you have two sons. Any other kids?
No.
Okay. And they're on their way to the Navy, you just mentioned, so that's kind of cool. What do you guys love to do for fun? What kind of keeps you busy when you're not jamming in real estate?
Well, I'm always jamming in real estate.
Yeah,
but we like to travel a lot. We would always try to take a family trip every summer because my wife's a teacher, so outside of summer we don't do a lot of traveling.
Yep.
Except, I guess, Thanksgiving we try to do something every year too. But we like to do that. Just spending family time, getting together with, Sundays, hanging out at some relative's house.
Okay.
And,
do you have a lot of family in this area?
So I don't have a huge family, but the family I do have, my sister lives in Oldsmar. My dad's, like I told you, is in Largo.
Yep.
But I've got some family out in Texas and New Jersey as well. But my wife's family is really big.
Are you guys based out of Tampa? Do you live in Tampa now?
Tampa, yeah.
You do?
North
Okay.
Tampa. But my wife's family is big, and they all live here, and they've all
Where is
lived
she
here
from?
forever. Tampa. We're both born at St. Joe's.
Oh, wow. Okay. Did you guys meet early on, or was it later on for the romance?
So, well, that's kind of a long story. High school, we dated for a couple of years in high school.
Sweethearts,
right
huh?
after high school, and then we went our separate ways, and then got back together years and years later.
Very cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And so if you take another step back to the business side for a second, if you were able to identify one part of real estate that you feel like has been the most challenging for you, what comes to mind as you feel like has been a part of the business that you've struggled with or had to really get, work at or really get good at?
Definitely the life work balancing.
Yep.
Because
that's a common one.
It's tough. It definitely helps to have a understanding spouse.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've gotten better at it. I have. Kind of, if somebody still needs you, if you see your phone ringing at 10 o'clock, I still answer it.
Sure.
But
does your wife work in real estate too, or work?
No,
somewhere?
she's a teacher.
She is. Okay.
Yeah, elementary school.
So it's more of at least of a set schedule, even though I'm sure she brings a lot of school work home.
They have to do a lot of work.
Yeah.
They definitely are overworked and underpaid.
Yeah, no doubt. That's been a long story for decades now, unfortunately, for a lot of the teachers in our country.
Yeah.
So have you found anything that's really helped you with that balance side of things? Like, what have you learned, if anything? Have you been able to turn it off when you needed to and still gotten the results you wanted, or what's been any secrets there?
Yeah, I think, I forget who told me this, but one of my friends told me, look, nothing's going to change after 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's an issue tonight, there's still going to be an issue tomorrow morning, and you're not going to solve it tonight. So don't kill yourself trying.
It's good advice.
Yeah, it was good advice. I wish I could remember who gave it to me.
Well, at least you remembered the advice.
Yeah.
That's the most important part, right? But it is true. You think about it, there's very few things that you're going to just get settled, between the hours of 5 and 9 or whatever, and when you could be spending that quality time with family, hopefully. And if you have your priorities right, that's probably where most of that time should be spent, right?
That's the hardest. Not the hardest, but it's the most important thing to remember is what's more important.
Yeah.
And not saying that the real estate side isn't important, but
right.
There's a lot of, we do a lot of different things, and not all of those things are as important as the others. Obviously if you've got an offer that expires at midnight, you probably need to address that. But
Right.
but if it's something minor that can wait till morning, it needs to wait till morning.
What do you get excited about now, Mike, when you think about the future, rest of this year, next year, in terms of what you're building, what you're growing, whether those are specific goals or just anything else that kind of gets you excited as you look forward? What comes to mind?
Well, this will sound kind of weird, but I'm actually kind of excited about this, see how this whole NAR settlement thing shakes out. Because I think I think there's a lot of aspects of it that are going to be good. I mean, it's going to be, I think anytime there's change, it gives opens the door for opportunity.
Sure.
And so I'm excited about that, to see how that's going to change, because we've been hearing about it for so long.
Right.
It's almost like, just do it already. So
Do you
yeah,
feel
I'm
like
excited about
that? So is most of your business on the listing side or buying side or both?
I'm about 50-50.
You are. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any concerns on what the changes? Because it seems like, from my understanding, and I host an elite agent mastermind every month with 12 different top producers and representing 12 different brokerages. And so that topic has come up now a couple times, and we've kind of gotten people's opinions and dove into some of the strategies and stuff that they're also implementing. Some of them are team leaders and brokers that are there. But for you, as somebody who's an independent agent, 50-50, you just said, buyers and sellers, do you have any concern on how that might affect your buyer side specifically? Because I think that's really where most of this is going to make a difference, right? Is how you would approach a buyer and make sure your commissions are guaranteed on the buying side, that kind of thing.
I think so, and especially for me, because I've never done a buyer's agreement before.
Right.
I mean, we've always kind of operated on, hey, if you don't want to work with me, then don't.
Yeah.
But
Is that going to
now,
be a change now?
Yeah, because now they're making it mandatory
Right.
that you have them sign that. So, I think that there's no specific time limit that you have to sign that for. So I've heard people saying, well, you can just have them sign a 24-hour agreement and then rip it up the next day. And they're so I don't think it's going to be as bad as everybody's saying it's going to be.
Right.
But I think it's great. I mean, it gives you an opportunity to get face to face with a buyer instead of just like, I don't know how it's going to work with a lot of the Zillow agents that, when somebody hits the button, 4 agents call them.
Yeah.
I guess they all race over there to
whoever the first one is that gets a buyer agreement, I guess, in place would probably be the way it would work, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest change. I think that and I could be wrong about this, but I don't think so. I think sellers are still going to be willing to pay commissions for the most part.
Sure.
Unless you've got a really hot property that you don't feel like you need the help, is your listing agent can sell it themselves. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about how things are going to change.
Yeah, it will be interesting. I know that there's a lot of different opinions out there on what they think they will go well or not or whatever. But, I'm a big believer that when you're a top producer in whatever industry and you're not going to allow things that you can't control, negatively affect your organization for a long period of time, right? Like, we can always learn how to adapt, change, make certain strategy changes, but it's all a mindset thing, really, at the end of the day. Like, something that's external that you don't control at all, if you get obsessed about that and allow yourself to get so upset about it that you think it's going to negatively impact your business, well, then it's probably a self-fulfilling prophecy, right?
Yes, exactly. I agree 100%. I think I mean, you're exactly right.
But the opposite, I think, is also true too. The top producers almost view it as an opportunity when something like that happens, because they realize that maybe other people might get freaked out about it or it might negatively impact them, but they can use that as an opportunity to distinguish themselves as a better service provider, right?
Yeah.
As a way that can really offer more value. So it is what it is, and I agree with you. It'll be interesting
it
to
might
see
be
how people
tough.
shake out.
I think it might change for brand new agents.
Yeah.
Because if it does get to the point where we're trying to sell ourselves to the buyer, it's not, this guy's not doing that great of a job, but I'm going to work with him anyway because it's not costing me anything.
Right.
So from that standpoint, I think it's going to be good, because if you do know what you're doing and you feel like you deserve to be compensated for the work that you're doing for the buyer, then I think it's going to be great. Brand new agent, I don't know if necessarily, like, if I was thinking about getting into real estate right today, I may want to give it a few months to see how things shake out. Yeah. But I think for the most part, and most of the agents that we work with are really good. So
does Century 21 have like a ongoing training programs where like they're kind of like teaching you guys how to make these changes to your buyer presentations or even your listing appointments, like setting those expectations?
They've got everything. I mean, it's such a big company that the resources that they provide for us are great.
Right. Makes sense. So a couple last things, Mike, just to flush out again, more on the personal side now for people to get to know you a little bit more.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite book or author, seminar that you've ever gone to that you feel like has really made an impact on you personally or professionally?
Well, so you're gonna hate this answer, but I'm not real big into like self-help books and stuff like that. I know that there's people that read hundreds of them.
I don't even hate the answer. I have no emotional attachment.
All right, well, so and I want to back up. I did read a Tony Robbins book one time and enjoyed it thoroughly. But for the most part, I like to read. I do like to read a lot, but I do it more to escape.
Sure.
I feel like.
What do you like to read?
Man, I really like Stephen King books a lot.
Okay.
I like the Jack Reacher books, John Sanford books. Anything that's kind of murder mystery type stuff.
Yeah, no doubt.
But yeah, I use the reading more as an escape than
intentional growth thing.
Yeah, because I feel like I'm learning every day, all day. I'm tired of learning by the time I get home.
Yeah,
I just want to escape.
Just from life experiences.
Yeah,
I hear you. Yeah. No, I get it. A lot of people. By the way, like if you look statistically speaking, fiction books are the best-selling books out there, right, in America and globally. Even though I think in the business world, we tend to talk a lot about self-help stuff and about some of those different things, just because of, there's obviously things to be learned from it that we could help grow our businesses. But if you look statistically speaking, most people probably agree with what you just said. That's why fiction books are more popular to buy.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
And it is kind of, I mean, I don't read a ton of fiction books, honestly. Most of my reading is nonfiction, and I do read a lot of those types of business books and finance books and leadership and things of that nature. But, I also like to read history stuff. I'm a fan of that too.
I do like history.
Yeah,
I do
me
like
too.
that. We agree on that.
I love reading a lot of history stuff. I find that fascinating. But every now and again, I will read a good fiction book from somebody. Woo! We got lights falling down. What's up, people in here? Yeah. It's all good, Rob. Keeping me on my toes. I appreciate it.
You're trying to be clever and hide behind cameras, right?
It's all good. But anyway, what I was saying is I agree with what you said. The concept of just escaping is definitely valuable. So I could agree with that. Do you have a favorite food?
Well, I got a lot of favorite foods, obviously. Yeah. I do like to eat. I would say, depends on what day you ask me, but either cheeseburgers, tacos.
There you go.
All the junk stuff.
So if somebody wants to get on your good side, just a simple cheeseburger, you're good to go.
Love it.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, my last question for you, Mike, and this is what I would call our legacy question, all right? Gets you to think a little bit deeper about the future. And at some point, right, when you think back and sit in that rocking chair and you think about what you'd want to be most remembered for, or, your legacy, what do you think would be most important to you to be remembered for? What would you want that legacy to be?
That is pretty deep. I would say just being a good guy, being honest, treating people fairly, and never. I don't want to be ever remembered for doing somebody wrong. Mm-hmm. I only just say, he was a good guy. That guy helped us out. He was good.
And I think you're in the right industry if that's the case, right? Because ultimately, without that approach, then nothing happens, right? Nothing moves, and you're not going to end up building an organic referral base. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing better than getting somebody. I mean, especially somebody that didn't think that they would ever realize the dream of owning a home and getting them in. I mean, it sounds kind of cheesy, but that is at the end of the day the best part of the job is getting somebody into. You kind of feel like you had a part in making their dreams come true.
Without a doubt. And I think a lot of times when you see those social media posts with agents who are celebrating with their, or with their buyers most of the time in that case, right? Mm-hmm. That comes through. I think that that's usually what resonates, I think, with a lot of people is being able to see the celebration, right?
Yeah.
Because it does mean something, and it is a big purchase for many people, and a lot of memories get built out in those homes, so it makes sense. Last thing we'll say, Mike, is if somebody did want to pick your brain about anything, whether that would be your story, your background, anything regarding how you've kind of worked organically over these years and done it successfully, what's the best way for somebody to reach out to you?
You can reach me on my cell phone anytime. I'll answer any questions that you have. 813-951-4064.
Cool. Mike has come to one of our MVP socials before and got his framed gift there of his
awesome.
Of his article, and so you're always invited to attend those. By the way, every month we do them regularly. So hopefully
I just got the email invite for August 1st. I will be there.
Oh, cool! Look forward to it. That'll be fun. Yeah, absolutely. So we will finish this episode the way we always do, which is to a challenge with the audience. So whether you're watching live on Facebook or any of our other platforms, or you are watching or listening through any of the 15 plus podcast platforms that we have, if you don't already follow us or subscribe, just click the button, by the way, that says subscribe. That way you'll be notified every time a new episode drops, which is done weekly here with our podcast. But what is one action step that you can take from our conversation today with Mike that's going to help propel you forward personally or professionally? Maybe you're an agent who wants to also grow your business organically, and just hearing from Mike today over the years where he's, basically just grown his business through customer service. I mean, that's been the approach. Hasn't been a lot of other work in terms of intentional lead gen necessarily, but his business has still grown. And so maybe you're trying to do the same thing and you can relate with that approach, but you're frustrated for whatever reason. Possibly reaching out to Mike might be a helpful thing to pick his brain a little bit more, or learning from our conversation today. Finding a niche that you can serve. Mike talked about working with the military. A lot has been a niche that's helped him. So I do think there's a lot of importance of finding a unique niche that you can become a go-to person in. And that might be a step that you can focus in and identify what it is for you. Check us out more at topproducersnation.com to learn about our different programs to help agents become top producers through our community and our course and other programs. And of course, we will see you on the next episode of Tampa Bay Real Producers. We'll see you then. Bye.
Hi, I'm Troy Walseth with Walseth Teams with Keller Williams in Pinellas County, Florida. We are here at a Real Producers event, learning with the top agents in the country about how to succeed in any market. And I love Real Producers because you have an opportunity to talk to some of the top agents in the area, and they always do a great event.